It's not a bad day really, is it? Yesterday, despite having Mustang gate and the crippled Mustang, we now have this beautiful red little Mercedes, which I've got to say, thoroughly enjoying. The Mustang was actually really hard to drive, and yet this Mercedes is the most comfortable, smooth, sort of classy car. I mean, it handles like a yacht, and I'll show you inside later. The steering wheel is about the size of what do you call it on a boat? Let's just call it the steering wheel. About the same size as the steering wheel on a boat. So driving down the road, you do feel a little bit, I don't know, it's quite luxurious, let's put it that way. But we've got another beautiful day in London, and we're just going to drive around and see what we can find.
We missed the final call. The writing's on the wall. We fell and now we walk of our love. Days gone fading, hearts still aching. I can't control it, I can't control it. I know, keep pretending that we could never make it. I know you know it, I know you know it, I know. In the late night, when the lights out, can't escape now. We lost, gets me every time in the moonlight. Get out. Baby, I know, baby, I know. I can't let go, I can't let go. The nights are cold and the sun won't show. I can't let go, can't let you go.
This car must have felt back in the early 70s when it was first released, but honestly it does feel like you're just driving a normal car, which in comparison to the Mustang and the Triumph, which granted are a few years older but not that much older, you know, this is streets ahead. Let's work out where I'm going first. The first thing to note is this car handles like a boat, and it's like you're turning a rudder. So you have to time it correctly in order to actually get round the bend that you're hoping to get round. But at the same time, I must say it must be very comfortable for your passenger, because I don't think they rock around too much. I mean, Mercedes was known, I mean, okay, that was quite a severe bump, but Mercedes was always known for having a very smooth ride, and if anything, maybe too much of a smooth ride, because, you know, the handling wasn't particularly direct. Sorry, I'm just looking at a strange car, I don't know if you can see it. It doesn't have a very responsive sort of throttle in this car, which is probably another reason why it's so comfortable. Do you know what, if I was in the market for a classic car, this would be the exact kind of car that I'd be after. paid off. It really fits the sort of interior decor and the idea that you're in a yacht rather than a car. You can't accuse this car of being style over substance, which is something that someone else actually said to me yesterday about the Mustang, that it's a car you dream about, but in reality, could you really live with it? Whereas with this car, although these are still going now for about £50,000 when they're in good condition like this one, this isn't such a myth of a car as the Mustang is. But in terms of a car that I could live with, go on weekend journeys and just enjoy without any hassle, you know, I would entirely expect this car to start first time every time. In fact, last night I accidentally left the headlights on all night. I came back to the car and there was not a problem. Started up, purred like a kitten. You know, although the look of this car isn't quite as exciting as the Mustang, it's actually dated really well. You know, it's not a head turner as such, but it's a classic style statement really. And I think if you're the sort of person that likes understated but stylish, and you like something that's functional and that you can really enjoy, then this car actually is possibly my dream classic car. Oh, this car is an absolute joy to drive. I've got to say, no stress at all. In the Mustang, yeah, it was great fun. Given the choice between the two, I would pick this every day of the week. It's relaxing to drive, it just works, and that's saying something with any classic car. And it's practical, you know, we're comfortable in here. I can carry all my camera equipment and tripods and everything like that. The boot would be big enough for a decent sized suitcase or two, and you could go away for the weekend. You could buy a nice flat cap, and then you'd just look very cool. It'd be good to talk about the Mustang just for a minute, because, you know, yesterday with the breakdown and everything, it was a little bit chaotic, but what did I really think about it? And, you know, considering that the Mustang has been my dream car my whole life, you know, did it live up to that hero status that I've given it? And I've got to be honest, it's a bit of an old man now. You know, it's a bit like a rocker that's gone a decade or two too far. It's lost most of its power, which is fine, but it didn't have the incredible throaty V8 roar and hum that I think we were looking forward to. Still the best looking car I've ever seen, and I don't know if that will ever change. I loved it, but as a driving machine, it was a wheezy old man. And I don't mean to cause offence to anyone. Yeah, this car has it all, and on top of that, I'm a sucker for a soft top, which on a day like this is just absolutely brilliant. So many things about the Mustang did live up to expectations, you know. The look and feel of it, the raw sort of sex appeal, it's the only way I can put it, were there, you know, and in that sense I absolutely loved it. But it was a nightmare to drive. So the guy who rented it out to us had to give me a little driving lesson first and teach me how to do left foot braking, because the old drum brakes on there were hysterically bad, essentially, and so was the transmission. You move the transmission into place and you'd have to wait a full second or two to feel the car actually changing gear. So if you wanted to go into reverse, the car was a bit overzealous in reverse, which would make it very difficult for parking. So you had to use the left foot braking as a way of stopping the car from surging backwards. And that was quite a thing. And the steering was very floaty, so with those massive American wingtips on the front end, as you turned a corner you had to make sure that there wasn't anyone within about 50 yards of you, otherwise you might just swipe them from the side. And all of that makes for a really stressful experience when you're driving, especially if it's not your car and you really don't want to damage it. And also, you know, it felt like a tank, it was heavy, and I do feel that if you had knocked into anything, it would have been goodbye to whatever that anything was. So in that sense, completely unrelaxing, whereas this car is just a different beast altogether. It's been a great weekend with the Mustang, and unexpectedly with the lovely little red Mercedes behind me. And I have to say, out of the two, I think I preferred the Mercedes, which surprises me, but it's just such a well-made, well-engineered car, which you probably expect from the Germans. It's smooth, it's luxurious, it's spacious, and it's a lot of fun. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.